It's really hard. It's brutal. It's nasty. But I've never seen in a war. I've never seen when the victim is so on trial on a regular basis and is ultimately responsible for the solutions for everything. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rent Network. He's Stuart Pascal. I'm David Solomon. For the last couple of weeks, we've been diving into this absolutely atrocious war between Israel and Hamas, the war that Hamas initiated, the war that Hamas caused by killing, slaughtering 1,400 people, raping, kidnapping, unbelievable. But yet, the world Israel on trial for every aspect, despite the fact that Hamas is ultimately guilty. So today, let's dissect a little further into the absurdity, because we are absolutely apoplectic to what's going on. Stuart, how are you? You said something earlier about the Palestinians and where the heck they are. Stuart, I too am frustrated by the fact that the Palestinians are the victims no matter what, and for decades that's all we've heard. But when are they going to pull up their big boy pants and start doing something?
Okay, so let me jump right on. Okay, first of all, it's the Ayatollah Khomeini who's at fault here. It's the Ayatollah Khomeini who's pulling all the strings. Hamas, Hezbollah, Sugi, they're all tentacles of an octopus. So let's first understand it. Now, everyone is chanting, free Palestine, Palestine should be free. Okay, great. So those people that call themselves Palestinians need to do one thing: eradicate Hamas. It's not Israelis' job to eradicate Hamas and so they can have their freedom. It's not the Israelis' fault that Hamas pockets all the money and spends it on hate, bombs, and killing people. It's not the Israelis' fault that Ayatollah Khomeini wants to say death to all Jews. It's not the Israelis' fault that Hamas has taken and murdered and massacred 1,400 people. It's not for the Israelis to stop their incursion. It's for the Palestinian people to overthrow the Hamas government. And this is where the politicians got it all wrong. In fact, the minister from UAE said it eloquently. Europeaners, Westerners have no concept or understanding on how these people work. Jordanians won't let them in. Egyptians won't let them in. Saudis won't let them in. UAE won't let them in. Hey, Toronto is letting them in, or Ontario's letting them in. Quebec's letting them in. The United States is letting them in. How come their brothers and sisters in the Muslim faith are rejecting them from all aspects of human life and dignity? It's not the Israelis' responsibility. The Israeli says, here's a piece of land. Here is for peace. Take your land. Have the oceanfront beauty like Tel Aviv and build a society for your people, however you see fit. Instead, they embrace the hatred, the vitriol that every single dumbass Democrat says is their every right. So let me ask you a question. You're a Democrat. You want the wokeness. You want the freedom. You want the ability to choose. That isn't what is in the Ayatollah Khomeini's playbook. You're a woman, you can't go out unaccompanied. You're a woman, you got to be covered up from head to toe. You're a woman, hell, if you're a man, you both can't drink. If you're a man or a woman, you do something that the Ayatollah doesn't like, he stones you and burns you alive. Yep. What culture, since Genghis Khan, the Vikings, murdered women and children and babies? Tlaib is off the fucking rocker. Someone needs to take Tlaib and send her out to pasture and have her retire. She is a disgrace to the Democratic Party. She's a disgrace to being an American. She is a Palestinian who's petrified of going to Gaza or the West Bank. If she would put her money where her mouth is, let her go to Gaza. Let her go. Let her go and show up. Let her try and be the free woman that she wants to be in Michigan. Let her be freely speaking like she does in Michigan. Let her have her own ideas like she does in Michigan. She won't. She'll be stoned to death like everyone else. The reality is the Palestinians that call themselves Palestinians, who have nothing to do with the state of Israel, by the way. which everyone constantly keeps forgetting. If you say something over and over and over again, maybe it's true. That's the democratic process. Really? No, it's the Democrat process. It's not democratic at all. Israel is far there long before the Muslim religion ever existed. Muhammad never went in the land of Israel. He had a vision of Iraq in Israel, right? So Israel has been Judea-Sumeria. Are Palestinians Sumerian? Fuck no. Are they Egyptian? Fuck no. They are Syrian outcasts. They are Jordanian outcasts. They are Bedouins. They have nothing to do with the state of Israel. However, you are listening to a moron, or actually 5 of them, that constantly say, blame Israel. It's Israelis' fault. It's the Jews' fault. I haven't seen this much vitriol hatred towards any race since 1933, where Adolf Hitler stood and said the problem is Jews. It is mind-boggling that this Democrat hasn't been thrown out. Where are all the Democrats to condemn these 5 morons? They're not. Where are the Palestinian people to throw out Hamas, no longer subject themselves to this insanity? Hey, they want weapons to go up and go and overthrow a government? Hey, they can get them. They're there. They're the American weapons we left in Afghanistan. Take them, shoot them, get rid of them. They aren't going anywhere because the people that call themselves Palestinians have no desire to free themselves.
Ooh. I'm gonna stop you right there because I agree with almost everything you said until that last line.
Okay.
And
well,
it's not, and I gotta tell you, Stuart. Let me start from the very beginning. Okay. You're absolutely right. This is the blame Israel game. Ladies and gentlemen, could you have imagined a week after 9/11, you would have heard the report that Canada is not sure that the planes that slanted into the Twin Towers were actually that of terrorists? Could you imagine that line? Well, that's what just happened this weekend in Canada. That Canada decided that maybe Israel is still guilty, even though the world has found it not guilty of a rocket hitting a hospital. We're still talking about Israel hitting a hospital. Not 1,400 dead. Not the raped and the kidnapped, as I mentioned at the outset. No, that doesn't matter anymore because Israel's been slamming into Gaza, and therefore Israel is complicit of war crimes. But it takes, surprisingly enough, if you could believe this, Stuart, Alyssa Farah Griffin, one of the members of The View, who we've criticized to the nth degree, who's of Syrian descent, she ripped apart Hamas and outright said that Palestinians must work with Israelis to rid themselves of Hamas because she lived in a terrorist state in Syria. She said you can't live a free life in a terrorist state. You must eliminate the terrorists. Therefore, you must get rid of Hamas. This came from her. Yusuf Haddad. There's a myriad of Muslim and Arab humanitarians who are all saying free Palestine is free Hamas, not Israelis. This is a misnomer. But anti-Semitism runs rampant in so many places. When you have over the weekend the president of a synagogue in Michigan killed, and the first thought is, was this Rashida Tlaib inciting hate? In last week's message to her people, that Israel did bomb the hospital despite being refuted by Biden and the administration, despite the fact that she has been told numerous times by her party, cool your jets with anti-Semitism, she still runs rampant. She still, is virulent with her words. And yet, we jump to conclusions about an Israeli rocket, But no, we must investigate this president of a synagogue who was did things in the community. But no, we shouldn't jump to conclusions. But the world can jump to the conclusion whenever it's Israel, whenever it's a Jew. College campuses are disgusting. We've talked about this. The media is disgusting. Hollywood is disgusting because Hollywood is yet to condemn what happened. But instead, no. Israel's at fault. Two-state solution. Stuart, last night I spoke to a Palestinian, okay? And he's telling me things, and I went, where is your information from? And he says, oh, no, I'm telling you. And I, one after the other, I corrected him, and I showed him proof how ill-informed, how uneducated you are. You're buying into the propaganda. And his family lives in the West Bank. And he's like, oh, God, I didn't know. He's Palestinian Christian. And he says, oh, you guys bombed the church. Whoa, slow down. Did you see what's inside at the bottom of that church?
Yep.
No. Israel is at fault. Israel's the criminal. We're not listening to the people, as you said, who are saying clearly Hamas is the global enemy. Yes, it's Iran and Hezbollah and all the rest of that. Yes, we know. But if you don't get rid of these tentacles of the octopus, call it an octopus, and wherever that Greta stupid climate change person is right now with the octopus, she knows now, don't use an octopus. But ladies and gentlemen, let's be clear. The hate towards Jews in Israel has reached unparalleled levels. And Israel's to be blamed for the problems in Gaza, Stuart. Sorry, don't buy it anymore.
David, it's echoing the statements from anyone that has half a brain, that reads and finds facts. I didn't misspeak, David. I'm sorry you didn't like the way I said it, but it was very precise. The issue is that the world has a problem with the Ayatollah Khomeini and the radical Islamic faith. Not Islam, not Muslims. The radical Islamic sect, which is the Ayatollah Khomeini. And as long as he exists, as long as the people support him, as long as people buy into this vitriol hatred, this war will eventually happen, just like World War II, David. Adolf Hitler spewed from a pulpit from 1929 to 1933, got power in 1933, 32, if I may be off, I don't remember the month, and reigned until his massacre or his alleged murder in 1945, which calls the end on May 1st, 1944.
Stuart.
When is it going to end? When's it going to end? David, if the Israelis...
It isn't going to end. Because you know why? You know it's not going to end.
I heard an interesting thing, that Vladimir Putin is actually the one pushing the buttons here. Yeah. Now, you want to know something? He wants world war. He does. That's it. There's no doubt. But now China's moved into the area. Now, China and Russia both used to support Israel, right? They weren't the best of partners, but they were partners all the same. They weren't enemies. The question is, where does China now sit in this axis in the Middle East? Because they're not lovers of the Muslim people either. They massacre Uyghurs. But that's another topic for another day. David,
Stuart,
let's end it.
The problem with what you just said there with China and Russia and all that stuff is that was a relationship of convenience. And China, China cares about China and Russia cares about China. Let's be realistic. And if China and Russia suddenly disagree, they won't get along. They're that kind of mindset at the top. And so you know that that's what's going to happen. And Israel was a relationship of convenience. And if it doesn't further their cause, they'll throw Israel under the bus. Folks, that's it. We're done for today. We're tired of tell everybody that Israel isn't the guilty party that the world wants to make you believe. And that we are here to tell you that folks like the BBC, CBC, and all these putrid media outlets that continue to crap on Israel and pass on propagandists for Hamas, we're tired of it. It's time for you to share this information and keep spreading the word through social media, through all your contacts, through email, whatever you got to do. Spread the truth. This is the truth, not what you're hearing on racist outlets. You can catch us Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. You know what? Come to our website, check out our past, videos. You'll see what we mean by really going after the truth. We genuinely value your feedback, ladies and gentlemen. Send it to us. We really want to keep these conversations going. We wish you the best of the day, and we'll see you